Gucci is not well.
Suffer through.
Power through. Share this on my personal Facebook.
I could probably just upload those things while the show goes on.
Yeah, do whatever you gotta do.
All right, so.
Hold on. Hello, Dr. Smile friend. Stretch. Here we go, motherfucker. All right, here we go. I'll take care of that. You do the thing in my waters. Get to the video. Hit it. Welcome to another episode of the Chop Sports Daily here on a Thursday. Definitely not thirsty for Gooch because he cannot have alcohol today. We are coming to you live from the Flipping Made Easy studio in beautiful Matawan, New Jersey. Gooch, I will get into it, but it seems to me that the Green Bay Packers now have sights on big things with a clear-eyed view. Welcome to the squad, Jalen Smith. We'll get into that. We'll get into Jalen Smith being the newest member.
I don't hate it.
I know you don't hate it. Another, what'd you say? Treasure?
One man's trash is another man's treasure. Bro.
Whatever you say, bro. We'll get into that. We'll get into the fact that we thought Gilmore would be cut. He was traded instead. We'll get into the Dodgers with their walk-off win. We'll also set your lineups today as far as a couple questions you might have in the world of fantasy football. And, of course, tonight, the Rams and the Seahawks kick off Week 5, but we start with the Dodgers. The Dodgers get into the playoffs off a walk-off win. I was telling you in pre-show that it was I was dead asleep. My eye opened for like half a second, and I saw kabah, just send it into orbit, and the Dodgers walk it off. Isn't it scary, though? Isn't it scary that it took a walk-off home run to win this game after winning 105 games in the regular season and having a play in this game? They used 6 pitchers. It was a mess, technically, for the Dodgers for rest purposes, but they get it done. They're in the playoffs.
Yeah, I don't really have anything to say about the fact that it was a scary moment. They won. They advanced. The Dodgers, I guess they were right yesterday. What were the odds when they were tied in the 9th?
I don't know.
You know, they still favored to win the World Series.
Probably.
It did get a little dicey for them.
Yeah.
But did anybody see the post game? We'll get to the game in a little bit, but
no, we're on the game right now.
Max Scherzer, shirtless, hammered in his interview. I'm talking about fucking hammered.
Wait, how long into the post game was it? Like how long was it?
It seems to me like Max got pulled, shook Dave Roberts' hand really hard and angry, walked to the dugout, went back into the clubhouse and got hammered right away.
I love it.
He was unable to speak. He was slurring his words. It was fucking great.
I didn't see it.
He had like an echo in his headphones, in his earphones, and he was like, "What the?" He's like, "Could you get rid of that? I can't hear a word." And he was slurring. It was hilarious.
Wow.
Max Scherzer is
Mad Max
rapidly rising up my favorite player list. He's a rare breed.
Well, Mad Max is now playoff bound. He'll probably get the start in, I want to say, game 3 of the NLDS, right? I mean, I don't know how much rest you need for him to get back out there. He only went 4 1/3, so he was pulled. A great pitching matchup, though. A phenomenal pitching matchup between him and Wainwright.
He threw a lot of pitches, though. He was at like 93 pitches when they pulled
4
him.
innings.
So it wasn't. Yeah, they
Jesus. I guess they're working
pitches,
counts. Like
I think he got out of a bases loaded jam in one of the innings,
Mhm.
and then the next inning he had 2 men on and 1 out. So
Okay.
he wanted to stay in the game, but it was the right move.
Okay.
Right.
Well, in any event, the Dodgers do move on. Great moment for that team at the end of it, at least for them to, walk it off. First of all, I was watching the game. Bro, how old is Yadier Molina? How is he still on a major league roster? That guy's going to be 50.
And
he's producing. Like that's insane to me. I feel like he's played for every team. Well, not really.
No, he's been
St. Louis, right?
There's been 40
Cardinals?
different Molinas that have played
That's
catcher
right.
in the league. So you had Benji Molina.
All
and
his grandchildren are
maybe
playing.
There was just 2. And Benji Molina played on every team.
Yeah, so Yadier Molina was in the lineup. I also saw a weird thing. Like, what was the deal with the fact that like the Nationals were in the crowd? It was Soto and his hitting coach or
Was it
pitching coach.
his personal hitting coach, or
Yep.
like batting?
It might have been
practice?
Max's, not Max. Might have been Matt. Yeah, Max Scherzer. It might have been his pitching coach. I don't know, but it's like not only that. If that's the case, and you pan over to a guy and you're like, oh look,
He's
some
not in his
support.
street clothes.
He's not in his street clothes. He's
jersey.
in his
Leave
uniform.
it to Juan Soto though, because that dude's rare breed. As
He's
well.
a rare
Maybe
dude.
that's why him and Scherzer get along so well, because
Maybe.
they definitely march to the beat of their own drum.
Maybe, bro, because I don't know. It was just weird to me.
You didn't watch the game, obviously, because you were playing softball yesterday.
Oh, shout
So
out
you
to the
didn't-
health and fitness professional softball team.
You didn't get
Jesus
to
Christ.
see the first 8 innings.
No, I did
That's
not.
about all I saw. I didn't actually get to see the walk off. I fell asleep for that.
Oh,
But I did see in the 5th inning where they left Wainwright in to hit with 2 outs and a man on, and then the next inning he only came out and faced 2 batters, and they pulled him.
so if that was the
I
case,
don't
why didn't you
understand
pinch
why
hit?
they did that.
Right.
That's another reason why National League sucks, because you get the pitcher up in that situation and you got to leave him in to face 2 more batters. You should have a batter batting there.
You would think that it's like inevitable.
In a 1-1 playoff game where you're pulling out, what are you saving your bullpen? There's nothing to save it for.
Right.
You're
This
done
is it.
now.
One and done. Right. It's inevitable that this universal DH is coming. Like
Yeah.
it's gonna happen. They already released the runner on second rule is no longer, which is hey, way to step up, MLB. Way to take away the worst rule you've ever created and take it away from the game of baseball. I'm waiting for them to take away the garbage 7-inning doubleheader rule. That's just dumb. Like we're not that soft. We can play baseball.
No, they got rid of. Oh, I don't know about the 7-inning rule. They should get rid of that. I think
Of
that
course.
was a COVID thing because of the amount of doubleheaders that they
Sure.
anticipated having this year.
Right.
But they did get rid of the man on second rule.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
Anyway,
They finally
did.
did.
You already say that?
Yeah, effective this year.
I'm
Yeah.
suffering internally.
I was going to
Dave.
say,
Just
man, you're
leave me
hurting
alone.
right now. This is,
Um,
but yeah. So the Dodgers are on it. How far can this team go? You think they're going to win the World Series? You think they're going to make a run now? This is it. This is the team. They're stacked. They're ready.
no, I
Mookie-
think they're gonna. I mean, this
Mookie
is the World
Betts.
Series. To me, I think the Rays have a really good chance.
So, but the
do
Dodgers to
Astros.
represent the NL at least.
But the Giants are fucking good.
Did-
So we're setting up. I think this has to be history. Where the most wins in a opening round, 213 wins combined between
Well,
these two. teams.
they've never met in the playoffs ever.
Oh, really?
This is the
So
first
there's
time
history there
ever
as
that the
well.
Giants and the Dodgers are meeting in the playoffs.
Did your sauna friend tell you that?
No, I found I did see my sauna friend today, and there was no communication at all. It was just like very somber. He's a big Yankees fan.
I think last week he probably caught you peeking up his towel. and
I mean,
he
look.
got a look at his
What am I supposed to do?
his dangly red sauna balls.
What am I supposed to do? They're right there. Like I don't understand. Whatever. I mean, look, I'm a man. I'm 40, right? Not 40, not yet. What a great interview that was, by the way. I'm still using that clip when I turn 40 for that. Like, I'm a man. I'm 40, right? I'm definitely using that
Holy
in
shit!
4
Thanks
years.
for the reminder. I got like a month or two left.
Right. So you'll be able to use that
Unbelievable.
if you really want to. That's cool. All right. So after that, we got the Dodgers. Let's see what they can do in the playoffs. It'll be fun. Are you watching the playoffs? That's another story. I know me and AJ were talking pre. It's like Yankees, Mets gone. Matchups not that great. Like, yes, the Boston Tampa series might be good, and Dodgers Giants is going to be
I'm
must
actually
see.
proud of myself because I do not watch sports after my team is eliminated. So I actually watched the
That's
baseball
not true.
game.
You
No,
watch
I-
football. You watch football.
If I
Not that the Packers are ever eliminated, but I'm
I
saying
have
you
a hard
watch football.
I have a hard time. There's Super Bowls that I've missed. I didn't watch the
Shut
Patriots. I didn't watch
up.
the Patriots Giants Super Bowl, the first one.
You're ready. Are you kidding?
Didn't even watch it. I was sick to my stomach. Sick to my stomach. The Giants beat us in the NFC Championship. I just couldn't bring myself to do it.
You stopped watching football because your team was eliminated?
I didn't watch the Super Bowl that year.
Oh my
Case.
God.
I just couldn't.
I-
do
That
it.
might be the crazy.
I am-
I've never seen you be that much of a crazy
I've
fan
changed
more
a
than
lot.
Dave.
I've
but that is
changed a lot
nuts.
since then.
That's
I handle
nuts.
losses a lot better, but just that one specifically because of the Giants and the way it went down. I live in the area. I fucking was sick to my stomach. I couldn't.
You're talking about 07 or 11?
07, where it was like I was like really.
I was
deep into
working for
my,
this stupid
I was
team at
really
that point.
deep into my Patriots and Boston hate at that time. So I was
Uh-huh.
like, I can't root for the fucking Patriots and Brady, and I cannot root for the Giants.
To be
that
a
just beat me.
red-blooded male and not watch the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
You
You're a
had to be.
psycho.
You have
I'm putting you on a
exceeded
watch
expectations
list.
as far as what I'm. Oh my God. But anyway, we'll get to football right
hey,
now.
Toast. Anytime you want to come on,
I know, the
do a
Toast
baseball
man is
segment,
watching.
That would
The
be
Toast man is-
ideal.
I
honestly.
love it. Toasty is a phenomenal handicapper. He's basically Kyle Kerm's right hand man in baseball.
I don't want to speak. I don't know if I'm saying this right, but Toast has a contest going on through something where he's giving away a bunch of Madden 22 games. I don't
really?
know.
Wait a minute, time out, Toast. Send me a Madden 22 game,
like,
please.
how do we enter this contest, or at least incorporate it and get you a little more traction?
And what
you're
is it?
doing?
Madden
You
falls
can
off
share
the
that
truck?
into Chop Sports.
What,
I don't know. I seen a picture yesterday. I saw a picture
you
yesterday
work for EA? Like,
of like 10 or 15
Shut
Madden
up.
stacked, and he said, "Yeah,
And
the
I just-
giveaway's happening."
I just cleared out my man cave. So I redid it all up in my attic. So now I can actually access my PS4. I know I'm not a PS5 guy yet. So if you're giving away PS5s too, Toast, that'd be wonderful.
I
get
also
both.
haven't played a video game in 3 years. The
It's been a
last game
while.
I played was hockey. That's how I became a Tampa Bay Lightning fan.
a
so.
phenomenally
Tampa
hardcore
Bay, baby.
Tampa Bay. All right. Anyway,
To the day you die. All right.
football talk, baby. Go ahead. Bring that graphic up. Bring it up. Oh my God. This is great. Okay. So yesterday I was beaming because of the release of Jalen Smith, right? This, you have to have a timeline of what happened yesterday. So the show's happening. We're talking about the release of Jalen Smith, right? Show ends. Then Gucci, goes into the other office, starts working his stuff. I start working at my desk here, right? You come strutting in like McGregor and you're like, hey, Albert Breer is talking about Gilmore to the Packers. Love Albert Breer, right? And I'm like, hey, man, yeah, Breer's actually good. He's a credible source. He knows his stuff. And then, hours later, we'll talk about the Gilmore thing. But then on my drive home yesterday, drive to softball yesterday, I get the text from you, Jalen Smith to Green Bay. And I was like, oh, my God. I knew it was coming. There was rumors kind of
By the
swirling.
way, I'm going to cut you off for a second. I now hate Albert Breer. Piece of shit.
Is now
Right.
one of the official talking heads of the new do not follow list for Chris Gucci.
Nah, he was
but
just doing his job. Funny thing about we're not going to talk about Gilmore just yet, but the Jalen Smith thing, bro, he's free. He's a free
I would
bench player.
I would you couldn't give me to him for free. That's how
Well, the
bad
thing
he
is,
is.
you're the one paying him $7.5 million.
And you
for
know
us.
what?
So
That's
you're
fine.
actually not getting him for free. You're getting him. You're actually in a worse spot.
So we're just paying a little bit more overhead. It's like, all right, we left the lights on a little too longer at AT&T Stadium. It's going to cost us $7 million. Okay, that's all it's going to cost. Dude, Jalen Smith, and people are out there like wishing him well and all this other stuff. And I get it. All the Cowboys players wishing him well. He sent a message to Dan Quinn saying, go finish what you started, which is kind of weird because now you're playing for another NFL team in which the likelihood of the Packers making the playoffs over the Cowboys is more. I mean,
well, they're probably both strong candidates to make the
fine,
postseason right
fine.
now.
I agree, and as a Cowboy fan, I should agree, right? But like, I'm thinking to myself, Jalen Smith leaving the Cowboys to go and play for one of his college coaches and your head coach. There was a little connection there, so the charity continues for this guy. Okay, the only reason, and I don't want to hear this crap that there was multiple suitors. Stop it, just stop. There wasn't. If you watch the film, which by the way was the greatest line he's ever dropped last year. When the Cowboys won 5-11 or 6-10, whatever, I think it was 6-10. They asked him about his future in Dallas. Do you think you played up to a standard? Do you think you played well enough to be back here next year? And he goes, watch the film. Guess what, Jalen? We watched the film, and you didn't make it a month with the Dallas Cowboys' new defense. You don't fit the mold.
Dave, I'm starting to take exception to the.
I know. Now I'm officially talking shit about one
why
of
you
your
talking
players.
Shit about my fucking team, bro.
Listen,
What are we doing here?
yeah, this is where we're at, folks. But I'll tell you right now, Jalen Smith, I don't know in what context you're going to use him because the Dallas Cowboys were a 4-3 defense, and now he's going to a 3-4 defense over in Green Bay. There's got to be something for him. Maybe he's a kickoff specialist. Maybe he's a special teams guy. But right now, you have a guy on your team that cannot move laterally. He led the team in tackles 8 yards down the field last year, so that's cool. That's a cool story. But like this guy lost. There was somebody in Chop Sports yesterday say he lost a step. Right? Lost a step. No. He didn't lose a step. He forgot all of his steps. After that knee injury, there was a couple flashes of
Jalen
moments.
Smith is going to make a Pro Bowl this year.
Basically, what I'm saying is Jalen
strip
Smith
fumble, Dak in
there
the
was-
divisional round to put the dagger in the Cowboys' playoff hopes. That's what's
there
gonna
was
happen
there
this
was
year.
there was times where there was flashes of good. Remember how I almost tripped up and said great AJ a couple weeks ago about Daniel Jones? There was times where there was I think it was around Christmas time a couple years ago. There was a strip of Jameis Winston in a Tampa Bay game. Jalen Smith scoops it up, takes it to the house, and you're all like, whoa, look at those wheels. I can't believe he's that fast. Ask him to go side to side. Ask him. Because it's bad. It's so bad. And I'm not like, look, again, the player, the person, great guy. Foundations left and right, gives back to the community. Wonderful stand-up dude. Will probably never, ever, ever get in trouble with the law. Like, he's a good, clean
And
dude.
he's for free.
And he's free for the Packers, but he's not for me. He's not for the Cowboys. He is not. Listen, this is a perfect example of them
I'm a firm believer
saying,
in second chances
goodbye.
and a clean slate, and a new team might be what he needs. Got to give him the opportunity.
but he was claiming he was the LeBron and the Jordan of the Cowboys. And he was the fourth best linebacker on the team.
Do not care about what he was saying when he was with the Cowboys. I care about what he doesn't say now. I hope he just says nothing. Right?
Oh, you better
And
be ready.
If he comes in and he starts, then that means that he earned the job over the guy that we have now, who's playing pretty well. I don't think that we really need him to come in and do what the Cowboys were asking him to do.
They didn't ask him.
He's not going to be in coverage. He's not going to be doing those types of things. I understand your ill will towards Jalen Smith, but me personally, I have nothing yet towards it. I'm just going to give him a shot. We'll see how it plays out.
Let me get something in.
Oh, here's AJ,
All
by the way.
right, so-
Producer AJ's here. Sturch and Gooch, by the way. I don't even know if I introduced. It was just rapid fire right into it. AJ, what up, dog? Welcome back.
What's up, brother? Now, you guys, the Cowboys, you had to let him go, obviously. He was playing bumney for you guys, but you guys had a privileged Jalen Smith. Now being cut with a reality check, I think the Packers are going to get a bit of a hungry Jalen Smith. So while Jalen Smith is a little bit of a shitberg in Dallas land, let's give the guy a chance here. Let's see what he could do. Let's not write him off
what
yet.
else is good? You know what else is good?
I'm writing
It
him
seems
off.
to me like he stopped playing good once he got that bag, right?
Oh, is that what happened? Because guess what?
But
Happens
guess
all
what?
the time.
Well, guess what? Now he's playing for it again. We only have him for the rest of this year, so he's an unrestricted free agent after this season. So he's playing for his money again. He's got a little bit of a chance on a contender to do some work. I'm going to give him a shot. I mean, I don't even have the choice. I have no choice.
You don't have a
He's
choice.
going to be playing for my team. So
Just
Jalen
wait until
Smith, bring it, baby.
wait until there's a 4-yard gain by a running back, and he gets up, makes the tackle, and does his swipe thing. You're going to want to swipe him right out of Green Bay right away. That guy just doesn't know how to get out of his own way when it comes to celebratory shit. He doesn't know how to get out of his own way when it comes to making plays that aren't necessarily
I'm
big
just
plays.
excited that the Packers are still involved in trying to make the team better. They've had some injuries on the defensive side of the ball, and while Gilmore didn't work out, which we'll get to in a moment, I'm happy that they're making an attempt to improve their defense because that's what they need. You could say what you want to say about Jalen Smith and the Cowboys, and I agree with every bit of it. That said, this is a new system, a new team. Got to give them a shot.
All right. Well, JoJo says a hungry Jalen Smith might actually be worse. So these guys, listen, we're as Cowboy fans, we've dealt with this. He played bad football all year long last year, and now this year, he actually, according to Jane Slater's report, which is, anybody can research it, but she brought it to light. He had more time on the bench this year in 4 games than he did his entire last year. Like, that's how much he was off the field. And the Cowboys realize that. And Dan Quinn is a defensive coordinator who knows what he likes. He knows the players that he wants to put on the field. He didn't fit the mold. This isn't the first guy. This isn't the first catastrophe to leave the Dallas Cowboys because he didn't fit the mold. You know what I mean? Like, Dan Quinn's got his thumbprint all over this defense. They're playing really well. And, again, good luck, Jalen.
One man's
All right.
trash is another man's
Yeah.
treasure.
Let's head on
Jesus
to
Christ.
Carolina, where they have acquired the man, Stephon Gilmore, for a 6th-round pick.
This one bothers me but it doesn't. It bothered me at first because whenever you see these price tags, like what they got him for, you're just like, how did my team not offer something more? But there's $7 million being carried over onto this and $15 million carried over to next year. The Panthers had the room to do it, so they did it. Now the Panthers secondary, Jesus Christ, when J.C. Horn gets back, it's J.C. Horn and C.J. Henderson and Stephon Gilmore.
And A.J. Boy.
And Booyah, yeah. So that's 4 corners. Try throwing on them. I mean, look, even Dak Prescott didn't have a lot of yard success against
I don't
the
think
Carolina
JC
D.
Horn. I think there's a very, very solid chance that JC Horn does not come back this season.
Really?
Yeah, they
Yeah,
were
I
saying
don't think he's coming
that's
back.
probably why they
Okay.
went out and made this move on top of the Henderson move because Henderson, let's be real, he's not the guy. He's a good piece. He's more of a slot. He'll cover some people, but you don't want him lining up on the number 1. Boye is the same thing. He's more of a compliment. Gilmore's the real deal, obviously. And like I said yesterday, going into the whole trade conversation, I don't think he's as hurt as they're leading on. I think that it's more of a contract issue, and he wasn't going there to take any risks whatsoever. So it was the smart thing to do to put him on the PUP. Is that what he was on?
Yeah,
the
the
PUP,
PUP, yep.
not the IR.
Physically
So-
unable to perform. Yep.
so it just makes sense for them. But shout out to Carolina because there was a lot of teams that were definitely in line to
The Cowboys
to get
did their
Gilmore.
due diligence.
I mentioned yesterday how Devontae Adams brought up when he made his farewell speech or post to New England, Devontae Adams said, "Call me, bro." And then like 4 hours later, you see another tweet from Devontae said he never called.
See, that's really funny.
It's funny stuff.
That's really funny.
So,
stuff.
but two
Must
things
have got
that I'll
lost
take
in the
from this.
mail.
Carolina's there to win right now. Sam Darnold's in a situation that he's never experienced before, where last year they were fire sailing everybody on the team and get rid of everybody. And now he's on a team where they're actually active, making 2 trades in 2 weeks at the same position that bolster an already really good defense. Bro, Carolina's defense, Brian Burns is legit, right? Legit pass rusher, Shaq Thompson, and then all the guys you mentioned in the secondary.
Imagine if a team put up 38 points against them. Oh, yeah, we did already. So
Now they
number one defense got
didn't
starched,
have,
as you would say.
I think Horn got hurt in that game, and they didn't.
No,
have
Horn
Gilmore.
hasn't been playing. It was CJ Henderson that was getting torched by a one hamstring
Oh.
Amari Cooper. So look, their defense has a lot of name value, and I get that, but they also haven't played anybody except the Cowboys. And when they played the Cowboys, they didn't play so well. So and look, the Cowboys could be a rare breed here. I don't know it. I'm not one of those guys who like we are going to be the best going forward. You know what I mean? Like the Cowboys have talent on the offensive side of the ball. They have a multiple run threat. They have multiple guys that can catch the ball to the backfield and down the field. Dak Prescott's playing all world, so they're a good offense. So I will give them the pass. Let's see what Carolina does this week to bounce back. Off
And they
the
don't
loss.
even have Gilmore coming yet. He's going to be ready for week 7. They're saying he will be ready. So we'll see.
Yeah, we
Carolina's
will see.
defense is legit, and they're going to get better as the season goes on.
Yeah. All right. Cool. So that is your news. Very again, shout out to Gooch today for weathering the storm. I know the Jalen Smith signing really hurt everything, activated all the stuff inside you right now, and I
Yeah.
know that's you're hurting. So whether you're basically Jordan with the flu right now, you are putting together a performance of a lifetime. And when we come back, we're gonna even what?
I also think Gilmore is going to sign an extendo with Carolina,
Which will
Get
make
rid
that
of
$15 million.
$15 mil.
It'll
Because
kinda
that was
go
the
away.
whole reason. He's not going to just go play for the Panthers under shitty conditions that he wouldn't play for with the Patriots. He wants more money long term.
I just can't believe there was no other team that made a better push. You know what the problem is with trades? You probably like a 6th round pick, bro. You know what I mean? That's so bad. That means you're telling me that there's not an NFL team out there that said, bro, we'll give you a 3rd.
It's
You know
not
what I'm saying?
about that.
And it ain't about that. It's about the $15 million
money.
cap hit
It's
next
about-
year.
It's about making the
business.
finances work. And if he was cut, it would have opened the door for a lot of other teams to get involved.
Right.
Now he's in the same situation he was in with New England, but just with a better situation.
Yeah. Well, anyway, we'll put Gucci better in a better mood when we come back because we're going to talk fantasy football and we're going to talk Thursday night football. But let's take a break, pay the bills, stay with us. Don't leave. We'll see you in a minute. Myself and Gooch are both getting a little older. One of the first things to go is your vision. Thank goodness for our hookup over at Absolute Eyewear in Woodbridge, New Jersey, right on Main Street next to the train station. They have glasses for all ages, all budgets. They have safety glasses, sports glasses. They are a full-service powerhouse offering eye exams and even free lenses for the kids. They work with BCBS, AAA, AARP, giving massive discounts. They're open 5 days a week, closed on Wednesdays and Sundays. Call 732-326-3937 to get your first pair of Ray-Ban, Burberry, Coach, Polo, you name it, they got it. Go see Craig and Janine right now. All right, welcome back. Thank you for sticking with us through the break. That is, of course, Craig and Janine over at Absolute Eyewear in Woodbridge, New Jersey. Be sure to check those guys out. And just to remind you guys, we're coming to you live from the Flipping Made Easy studio here in Matawan, New Jersey. Beautiful Matawan, New Jersey. And of course, for all your flipping houses needs, educational needs. So listen, if you're out there looking like, what can I do? I don't have a job right now. The pandemic sucks, like blah, blah, blah. And you're looking for something to start. This is what you can start, man. Learn about flipping houses, bro, because let me tell you something. There's a lot of cheddar to be made flipping houses, and Flipping Made Easy does exactly that.
If you don't have a job and you happen to have like 20 grand laying around,
Right,
to
just
put
laying
down on a
around,
house,
Donnie bucks or
there's your job.
Biden bucks or whatever we're calling them nowadays. If you have stuff saved up, go buy a
That's funny,
house. Go buy a house and flip that bitch.
or
right?
just learn how to do it
learn how to
and
do
help
it.
people do it.
Educate yourself. Right. So, all right. So we are in week 5 now. Fantasy football. I know that there's teams out there that are starting to make trades. Some of them are wacky. I saw a couple trade things that go down in the Chop Sports Facebook group. There's a lot of people saying like, this trade sucks. Grade this trade. A lot of trades. A lot of guys starting to panic, right? But there's also a lot of waiver wire additions that you're starting to add guys now because of either injury or just, guys are starting to come on the scene. What we do here at Chop Sports is we're going to help you out, make those tough decisions in case A, you have both of these guys on your team, or B, you're looking to do some damage in daily fantasy when you're debating on who to grab. So we'll start this segment as far as the first little debate we got going on here. We'll start with the quarterbacks. We'll go Jalen Hurts, who's right now ranked number 8 going into this week, which is just unreal. And Kirk Cousins, who is obviously always pass happy. He's always throwing the rock. Jalen Hurts has the Panthers, so we were just talking about, can the Panthers defense bounce back? Now he's got a little bit of a scrambling quarterback he got to deal with. And of course, Kirk Cousins playing the absolutely dreadful Detroit Lions. Gooch, I'll start with you. If you have both of these guys, which is definitely, I think, a possibility. If you have both of these guys in your team, which one are you siding with?
I'm having a hard time with the Jalen Hurts thing. I don't want to sit Jalen Hurts, but I have him in 2 leagues, and I do sit him from time to time. When you have a guy like Kirk Cousins, he's playing a bum-ass team with Detroit. They have no one in their secondary. Jalen Hurts does run the ball well, but this is an interesting one to me. I think if you look at where they've scored each week, Kirk Cousins is right there with him. Jalen Hurts has been – I heard a stat about Jalen Hurts yesterday, which is kind of crazy. He's number 1 in the league in – I don't know how I say this stat. He's thrown the least amount of bad throws out of any quarterback in the league.
No, he has no low percentage throws.
Yeah,
so high percentage throws are on the money.
Just his bad. Yeah,
good
anytime
windows.
he throws the ball, the highest percentage of passes that he throws is a good pass. Out of anyone in the league, is that really a fucking thing? He doesn't look that good to me.
I know.
I watched
PFF,
him 3 times.
They have all the
it's a little strange to me. I'm not really sold on Jalen Hurts going into this week. I'm surprised his ranking is that high, but at the same time, Gilmore isn't playing. J.C. Horn isn't playing, so they are a little bit banged up in their secondary as of now. I would probably still start Jalen Hurts over Kirk Cousins, but if you have a Daniel Jones as a free agent, or you have a Sam Darnold that's still out there as a free agent, that I would consider.
All right, so we'll go. What about you, AJ? Where are you going here, man?
I'm going Kirk Cousins in this matchup. Last week was a rough one for him, and it was kind of an anomaly because, simply put, the Vikings' offensive line could not handle the Chicago Bears. Cleveland Browns front 7. Just had an aneurysm there. Sorry, people. This kind of reminded me of the Bears the week before. They went ahead. They got their ass kicked by the Browns. They got sacked 9 times in that game, similar to Kirk Cousins. And then what do the Bears do the next week? They go out. They kick their ass. Justin Fields throws the ball, I think, 11 times, and he had 220 yards. That's a lot of big plays, a lot of explosive plays. I expect a lot of that from Kirk Cousins this week, who's going to be angry coming off a 7-point performance at home. They're going to rile that crowd up this week. He's going to ball the fuck out.
All right. And from the masses, ESPN's Adam Schefter Wexler he's going with Cousins too. So if I had to pick one, I'm taking the worst defense out of this. The Panthers are going to be playing with a little bit of a chippy chip on their shoulder. I'm trying to play a little bit better defense. And again, I'm not jumping on this Jalen Hurts train yet. I think there's a lot of bad plays to be made for him. Again, he's not flawless. I think for volume purposes, Cousins gets up early, might get you a nice little stat line quick, and then they just kind of grind out a win over the Lions because the Lions are just atrocious. So anyway, where we got next? Running backs. Nope. Receivers. Try that again, Dave. We have a New York Giant in the conversation here. Kadarius Toney is in this conversation, and he's going against one-on-one with Tim Patrick. Another definite situation where you could have both of these guys and you're trying to debate who you want. The ranking, Kadarius Toney ranked 63rd. That's actually really low. Considering how many guys the Giants have out, I think, are not playing again. Slayton not in, and I'm pretty sure the other kid too not playing. So Toney's going to get his reps on the field. Tim Patrick ranked 48th. He plays the Steelers. The Cowboys secondary.
This one's not even close to me.
Yeah, me too. Because I'm not the guru that you guys are, but the Dallas defense is playing very well right now. And the Steelers defense just gave up a bunch of yards last week. So I'm assuming I know where you're going with this one, Gooch. Where you at?
Well, Kadarius Toney, he's only had 7 targets in his career to this point, I think. So I'm going to need to see more out of him, and I think the Giants might be getting a little bit of guys back in the receipt. No, they're still both
Slayton's out. They haven't practiced yesterday. Slayton's out, and I think the other one too. What's the other one? Why can't I think of the other one's name?
I always talk high of Tim Patrick for a good reason. If you look at how efficient he is, whenever he plays, he's doing good things. He doesn't miss many passes thrown his way. Very efficient, and just based on that alone, and the fact that the Steelers haven't really been stopping people as much as you'd like to see the defense that came into the league or came into the season as touted as possibly the best defense in the league, They haven't been by even
Sterling
a little
Shepard.
bit.
That's the other one. Sorry. Thanks, Ben.
But yeah, this is not close. It's Tim Patrick.
I'm going Kadarius Toney in the
Whoa!
spot.
Are you going for volume here? Do you think he's just going to get on the field more?
I'm going volume. I'm going big play potential. Kadarius Toney is a guy I've talked a lot of shit about this year, but when he's on the field, he's super fast, and his route running is very crisp. With Kenny Galladay likely being covered by Trevon Diggs most of the night, I think that Kadarius Toney is going to have you have some pretty talented guys over there otherwise, but they're going to be less talented than Trevon Diggs. I think Kadarius Toney is going to create a lot of separation, and he's going to get a lot of targets. This could be a big game for Kadarius Toney. And while the Steelers have not been playing that well defensively, I still believe in the Steelers corners, and I believe that Tim Patrick, I think I don't know. I'm not on him this week.
I just warms my heart to hear you like really flip. They Flipping Made Easy Studios. AJ has Flipping Made all over Trayvon Diggs. Remember that time? Time.
Yeah, I remember that time.
Remember that time? Okay.
I remember when he was asked.
Tim Patrick is the guy, I think. No Giants against the Cowboys. Not this week, not in my house. But all right, next, what do we got? Speaking of Cowboys, we're going to go right to the tight ends here. Dalton Schultz versus Dallas Goedert. This is actually a lot closer than I think, ranking-wise at least. Dalton Schultz ranked number 11 tight end this week. And, of course, Dallas Goedert ranked 12th. We just talked about the Philadelphia Eagles playing the Panthers. The Dallas Cowboys play the New York Football Giants, in which the Giants have not been able to cover a tight end in maybe 20 years. So I know where I'm going with this one. And Schultz is actually my starting tight end on one of my teams. I'm riding that train all day long, even with the emergence of Blake Jarwin. Gooch, where are you at here?
I'm going to go Dalton Schultz. He's running a route on 75% of Dallas's passing plays. He's the guy in Dallas when it comes to catching the ball. Specifically, they got no Blake Martinez. I think he's done for a long time, and he wasn't able to cover anyone anyway. So whoever they have replacing him, I'm sure is a lot worse at it. Giants have been bad against tight ends, and Dallas Goedert, I've been talking kind of shitty about him. He hasn't lived up to potential this season. I think his projection's a little high based on the fact that I know that the Panthers safeties are really good, and Shaq Thompson is going to be kind of covering him. So Dallas Goedert's going to have a tough matchup this week, I think.
AJ?
All right, fair. I honestly pre-show was leaning with Dallas Goedert. We saw what the Cowboys tight ends were able to do against that Carolina defense last week.
Very true.
That was kind of a weak spot for them. But ultimately, I think I am going to go with Dalton Schultz. We've talked about how the Giants can't cover a tight end for the life of them.
I mean, Jason Witten, who is slower than all three of us combined, like he diced them up in his later days.
Yeah, and Dalton
it's just
Schultz,
I don't know why the Giants haven't figured out how to cover the guy in the middle, but what it is.
Schultz is an athletic dude, and we've been seeing that he's getting actually pretty steady target share. So Dalton Schultz, man.
And as much as I always appreciate everybody chiming in, like on the chat, I appreciate people listening live and watching live. Ben, if you ever say anything about Dak's ankle getting broken again for a second time, that's not only lifetime ban stuff, that's knock on your front door type shit. So don't do it again. Anyway, bring it on the next matchup here. This was a good one. This was a really good one. Clyde Edwards-Helaire at your running back position and Kareem Hunt, both right back to back as far as rankings are concerned. Clyde Edwards-Helaire, sorry, no in the Helaire, 16.
I'm glad you
I know you were coming right at me. I saw you were itching. You were like, oh, I'm going to nail him on this one. And Kareem Hunt ranked 15th. The only thing I'll say about CEH is the fact that they're playing the Bills, and the Bills are a very good defense. Kareem Hunt, now, this is something I brought up earlier in Baker Mayfield, torn labrum. He's not going to get it work done yet. He's not going to, it's his left shoulder, so it's not his throwing shoulder. However, I think that does stunt his reps and attempts. I would say he's going to be looking more to dump it out of the backfield. So I'm excited about Kareem Hunt's potential there. And I just feel like the running volume, Kevin Stefanski is going to really dial it up and run the ball a lot more. But this is a toss-up because Helaire, ever since I said he wasn't really that RB1 material, has come on. He's scoring points every week. I own him in one league, traded him in another because it's weird. I was like tired of him in one league, but I was like, just in case, I'll keep him over here. But where do you go, Gooch, on this one?
I'm going to go Hunt for pretty much the reasons you said. The Bills have been really good against the run, and Clyde Edwards-Helaire to me, is touchdown dependent. He doesn't really do much out of the backfield. They're throwing their tight end. They're throwing a Tyreek Hill. I think Josh Gordon's actually on.
He is. He's been elevated to the 53.
That doesn't have any bearing on this. I just figured I'd throw that in while we were on the Chiefs. But I'll go with Kareem Hunt because even in goal line situations, you would expect Nick Chubb to be the guy, but they've been giving a lot of Kareem Hunt action down low, and I expect that to continue. You mentioned the Baker injury. whether Baker was injured or not, they're going to run the shit out of the ball this week. That's what they do. They're going to do that every week because that's what they do. This is their strength. The receivers aren't as great as advertised. Jarvis Landry's still hurt. Odell Beckham is a play away from being hurt again. So the only way for Cleveland to really impose their will is to run the ball because Baker's a bum and he's injured. So
Okay.
Kareem Hunt.
Where you at there, AJ?
Okay, I mean, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, I'm coming a bit more around to the thought of Clyde Edwards-Helaire because, listen, over the past 2 weeks, the guy has been running his heart out. This season, he's averaging 5 yards per carry. Last week, he was averaging 7.6 yards per carry. He is really making the most of his opportunities on the ground. However, the Bills have been really stout on the defensive end. I think that with them possibly getting down in this game due to how explosive the Bills offense is, he could get more volume in the receiving game than he usually does, especially with the pressure the Bills bring. So that's going to be a little bit interesting, but ultimately you got to start Hunt in this one. Hunt's been getting so many carries. That backfield is practically split. And the Chargers, with the exception of last week where they got ahead in that game early, they've been getting churned on the ground. Yards and yards, touchdowns and touchdowns. I would go with Kareem Hunt.
Yeah, Zeke and Pollard had themselves a day a couple weeks back. So, like, the Chargers are definitely susceptible to the run. I'm going Hunt all day. I actually texted my brother this morning. I said, Hunt is a must start. That's how much I believe in that running game. Do we have any more?
No,
That's it. All right, cool. So, so anyway, so that's your lineup. Those are the guys you want to get in your lineups today. As far as tonight's concerned, I'm monitoring Chris Carson right now. It's a very big deal. If you're a Chris Carson owner, get yourself Alex Collins, right? And just in case, I do have a couple guys on the bench that I can. I'll just ask you guys random questions because of now you're gonna. That was set your lineup. Now you're gonna set my lineup, right? Let's do it. Alex Collins is now on my bench because I saw what was going on with Chris Carson, right? But then I also have Kenneth Gainwell and I have Elijah Mitchell on my bench. Which guy out of the three are you starting if Carson doesn't go?
If Carson doesn't play, I'm not sitting Collins. He had a
So you
good
think the
game.
volume's
He had
gonna
a
be
good
there?
game with Carson. The Rams have a good defense, but they haven't been great against the run, surprisingly, with their front. But yeah, it's going to be Collins just on volume.
Okay.
And, there is a potential for DJ Dallas to steal some touches, but
Mhm.
I don't think it'll be any more touches that Alex Collins would have stolen from Chris Carson if Carson played. So
Correct. Okay.
I think that Alex Collins is the clear lead back in the situation. I read an article, AJ had brought it up as well, where he's getting more involved in the offense as the season
even
goes.
with Carson,
Even
in
with
there.
Carson in,
Right.
he had 10 touches, 48 yards or 44 and a tutty last week. So he's definitely getting the ball. I don't know how he is as a pass catcher, but right now the Seahawks don't really use their backs in that manner. They're usually just a hand it to you
Grinder,
20
you're right.
times. And then we're going to pass it to our receivers type of team.
Okay.
I forget what made up fucking PFF stat it was, but Alex Collins, apparently when they're on the field, the offense is much better than when they have Chris Carson on the field.
I mean, to me, that's like malarkey. You know what I mean? Like Chris Carson's really
you deal with
good.
the same type of shit with Pollard.
Correct. Yeah, I just got attacked
It's just
by.
a different.
Remember
it's a
our old
different
friend?
thing.
Remember our old friend Rube? Yeah, he attacked me on Twitter saying it's criminal that Tony Pollard doesn't out-touch Zeke. I'm like, you're missing it. You're missing what's happening here in Dallas.
Look, he might by the end of the season. You don't know what their plan is. You have no idea.
He
what
called
their
Zeke
plan
a fullback. It's like, you ever seen a fullback rush for $140? Shut up. Anyway, Alex Collins, good running back. He was good for us in Baltimore. That has to be my boy Jack. I know he watches every day. So shout out to him and shout out to the Ravens offense, who are probably going to get right back to work this week in particular. But there is a game to be played tonight. And that is the Seattle Seahawks, as we just talked about, taking on the Los Angeles Rams. Going into this game, the Seahawks are dogs at home, which really is enticing right now because that, regardless of what they have ever had, the Legion of Boom and also, like they've had these different monikers for their team. They've always had that 12th man. Those Seattle Seahawks fans are great. And they're there, and it's not like they're going to be selling their tickets off to the Rams. So this is a 100% true blue away game for the Rams. The Rams, however, coming off a defeat, so you got to admit that they're probably a little pissed off as well. They'll play, but playing with a chip on their shoulder. But again, I'm thinking that the Seattle defense, if they just step up a little bit, I know it's going to be one of those hard games. Like Cooper Kupp is just all world, bro. Like he's just so goddamn good. And I'm looking at the Seattle team. When we said it last week when they were 1-2, like this Seattle team won't go 1-3. I don't foresee them going under 500 again. We'll make our picks in a second. But when you look at this game on the surface, Gooch, what kind of stands out to you? I know we have. Do we have the storylines or whatever? You could bring those up.
We got those.
All right, bring it up, bro. So these are key storylines. AJ, take the floor, bro.
Okay, so yeah, let's go ahead and talk about some of these. Darrell Henderson, he's gone against the Seahawks' 32nd ranked run defense. He only got 5 carries in the second half of last game, and that seemed to be a pivotal part where the team fell apart offensively. They were too predictable. It actually reminds me of a game last year where they lost to the Jets. The Rams only ran the ball 5 times in the first half of that game, and as a result, they got behind with a pretty decent, deficit, and they went ahead and they lost that game. Remind me of the same thing. Now we got the Seahawks first half team versus Seahawks second half team. The Seahawks are one of the best first half teams in the entire league. Their offense is number 1. But when it comes to the second half, that rank falls from number 1 to 22nd. This team cannot play in the second half, and it has become a huge problem for them, especially with teams like the Rams, who actually perform better in the second half of games. Sidney Jones IV versus Robert Woods / Van Jefferson is another huge matchup in this game. Sidney Jones got lit up last week with 2 touchdowns, one a 76-yard touchdown to Deebo Samuel, and another 24-yard touchdown to Ross Dwelly. He also allowed 5 first downs in that game. He was playing awfully, and now he's going to have to deal with Robert Woods or Van Jefferson. This is after a week where they were struggling to get these guys the ball. This is going to be a pivotal part of that game. And the last thing we're going to talk about is the Rams' horrible third down defense versus Russell Wilson's horrible third down offense.
Somebody's got
Russell Wilson is the second most sacked player on third downs, and he is the 27th ranked player in third down efficiency.
Gooch, how do you feel about all of those nuggets?
All right, so
that's a lot of nuggets.
Now I'll take what you said and
You'll digest it?
I'll digest it. And the fact that the Seahawks are so bad against the run and Seattle is such a good team to start off, I expect McVay to use Henderson a lot early. So if they're going to try to get the run game early, because if you take away the strength of Seattle, which is scoring a lot of points in the first half, the best way to do that is to run the ball effectively. You had mentioned that they were catching a little bit of heat because they didn't run the ball last week, where they really weren't in a position to because they were down so much. So you understand that. I do think that Robert Woods is way overdue for a breakout game, much like I thought Darnell Mooney was overdue for a breakout game, and he got it last week. Robert Woods is too talented. This is the get-right game for him because the guy that's covering him can't cover anybody, right?
Sidney Jones, is that the same guy from Philly?
He did play on Philly.
Yeah,
he can't cover anybody. Seattle's up Schitt's Creek with their secondary right now, and it's really not much better against the run. So Seattle's defense is just really bad against a team that's this good across the board, offensively, defensively. I don't see Seattle having enough. They do have offense, but they don't have any defense. They do have Russ, but Russ has been up and down this year. Definitely bad in the second half. I think Matt Stafford has to get right this week because he's such a bad defense. He was an MVP candidate. The Rams are not losing this game. So I'm going to go with the Rams.
All right, you're taking the Rams minus 2.5. We'll do the picks right now. We'll fly right into it. AJ, where do you like this game?
I love the Rams minus 2.5. I got it at Rams minus 1.5 as soon as the market opened because I was like, all right, well, this is a discount. So this is a great time to buy low on the Rams and sell high on the Seahawks because personally, I think the odd makers did themselves a disservice when they made this line. I understand that the Seattle Seahawks are at home, but this Rams team is so much better than Seattle. I don't want anybody to take that Seattle win is anything bigger than it was. They beat a backup quarterback. The kicker could not make field goals. The star left tackle was out most of the game.
I will say this though. They were up 14 when Trey Lance came in, or they were up 7 and then returned a kick. So there was a little bit of they had that game in hand. I just think that their San Francisco might not be as good as advertised. They're dealing with a lot of issues, and it's starting to come out now.
All right. Well, that's cool and all. But this is where I'm at here. When it comes to Seattle, they're that pesky team that always kind of stays in it. And as long as, and by the way, I think you're forced to pick the Rams going forward. You have them 15-2. So I don't think you're ever going to pick against them again. Maybe in the spread game, but you like this line. I like this line. If you're taking the Rams tonight, I like this line as well.
Taking the Rams.
There is a lot of people taking the Rams. You know who's not taking the Rams? This guy. This guy is not taking the Rams. I am taking Seattle at home plus the 2.5. It would have made me feel a little better if it was like 3.5, but it's not. But I will say you know, when you have a quarterback like Russell Wilson, it's very, I find it hard pressed to pick against him at home. I know he's lost games at home. It's not like I'm sitting here saying like, well, he's undefeated at home. He's not. It's definitely doable. I know Aaron Donald, and I know that defense is going to be flying around the ball, but just give me Tyler Lockett, give me DK Metcalf, give me those guys. One of those guys is going to be locked up with Jalen Ramsey, and the other one's going to flourish. You know what I mean? And I think no matter who's running the rock for this team, whether it be Chris Carson or Alex Collins or even DJ Dallas, the Rams' run defense ain't all that great. They do have, again, Aaron Donald. He always clogs the middle. Wherever he's on the field, you got to account for that. But I have a hard time thinking that Seattle can't get it done at home. You know, I have, like I said, 12th man, loud crowd. Give me the Seahawks tonight.
The only reason why I don't think the crowd will be much of a factor is because to feed off the crowd, you have to play good defense. I don't think Seattle plays good enough defense. So when Seattle has the ball, you want the crowd to be quiet. When they're on defense and they're giving up 40 points a game, the crowd is kind of also quiet. So
right.
I don't really see the crowd being much of an issue unless it's a tight game, which it very well could be. I just have a feeling that the Rams are going to put up a lot of points.
All right, that's the picks. And, you know, I do want to put this back up there just for shits, just so you can watch it again. Okay, right. It is the Jalen Smith graphic of him being on the Packers. But, look, I will say it's going to be a fun week 5. Tomorrow, programming note, AJ, we're bringing in the righty. You are in for me tomorrow, if that's okay. I mean, kind of looking around.
Might have to do an early show.
Okay, we'll figure it out. We'll figure it all out. If that's the case, maybe I can get on. But in any event, tomorrow it is a football Friday. We're going to make our picks. We're going to talk about this game, how it all played out. We'll talk about just everything there is to talk about. So for Sturch, and of course, Gooch over there, and AJ producing this entire shindig, this has been another episode of the Chop Sports Daily. Thank you guys for joining us. Please be sure to subscribe to all the podcasts on the network right now. We have a brand new I'm Your Football Team podcast. Hilarious shit. I listened to it this morning on my way down. Very funny stuff. Literally, like, does not pull a punch. And I'm just like, I'm always like, I'm on the fence. Like, should I censor it? Should I not? No, man. Do your thing, Keith. No. Keith Ernst is the man. Funny as shit. Go listen to that podcast. Go listen to all the podcasts on the network. New Squeaky Bum Time podcast coming, dropping tomorrow. And of course, the Mets took the week off, rightfully so, because, you know, there's not much to talk about until next week when they probably hire a GM or a president and a new.
Theo turned down.
I did see that. I did see that.
Any conversation with the Mets? He had a conversation to tell them.
Is Theo currently employed? No, right?
No.
Right. So maybe he just doesn't want to come back at all in baseball. Like, it's not like he got fired and then he's nobody wants Theo Epstein.
He went to a place where they hadn't won in 100 years. Fixed that. Went to the Cubs. They hadn't won in 150 years. Fixed that.
Fixed that too.
The Mets are like, could you come fix us? He's like, that's not fixable. So no.
I saw the Cubs with potential. I saw Boston had a great organization with some history. And then I look at the Mets and I'm like, that just doesn't, I don't know, not worth my time or my gray hairs. But anyway, so yeah, Theo Epstein just turning down the Mets. That's got to be, that's sour. That's sour. But in any event, thank you guys for tuning into the live show. Be sure to download the podcast later on. If you missed anything, we talked a whole bunch of stuff. And yeah, so for Sturch, Gooch, AJ, we'll see you guys tomorrow coming to you live from the Flipping Made Easy studios in Matawan, New Jersey.
Did anybody see John Collins dunk?
No.
We're watching preseason basketball. Is that what's happening?
That dunk is preseason basketball. It's worth watching. Trust me. Google the dunk.
We'll Google.
NBA is back.